We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins offense versus the Cardinals. And, obviously, disappointing result again. Just seems like what it is with the Dolphins right now. Can't finish a game, can't play complimentary football. But Tua returned and played quite well, and the offense as a whole played much, much better, more efficient. They were amazing on third downs, like they were 11 of 14. That was like the biggest upside. There were still some, struggles for the team, some mistakes, some fumbles, some snap issues that we'll get into, that type of thing. But overall, I thought Tua looked really sharp. I thought the O-line played well. I thought Achane played really good. You got to see the receivers be more involved. There was a couple of drops that will hurt you, but like overall, you looked way more clean, like offensively, like getting people set. No pre-snap. Like there was only 2 total penalties in the game for Miami, so that was like a huge improvement. Just like a lot of things to like, but overall, I just felt like Tua was accurate, sharp. There was a couple plays like this underthrow to Tyreek, but we'll break that down in a second. But he was playing on time. Just lots of good plays, definitely to be able to take from this game. And I think I'm at the point in the season where like the record's so bad where it's like I'm not gonna have I feel like the expectations have kind of just gone way down, and that's why a lot of these losses have been very disappointed. Because the expectations were so high, but now at this point, not going to let them hurt me for the rest of the season. I'm just going to try to enjoy watching the games, watching some of the players, evaluate. I know we'll get into in later videos like what the Dolphins should do next, and maybe let the season play out, see if they end up making any moves, firing people. I don't know if even if like it depends how bad the rest of the season goes, but I still don't know if I expect like a full-on rebuild. Just because of what the position the Dolphins put themselves into. Not saying I don't think they should rebuild. It's just they are in a very tough spot. They kind of put all their eggs in this basket. If you just look at how they built this team. But if there is a positive takeaway from this game, is that the offense just looks so much better with Tua. I thought McDaniel called a good game, to be honest. I know we'll get to the end where people might have some question marks, but I don't necessarily think it was like a bad called game. With the return of Tua, you got to see the return of the seam rail slide RPO, which the Dolphins ran throughout this game quite a bit. This is something they ran a lot in Tua's first season with McDaniel, and they've sporadically ran it throughout games, usually run it a couple times now in the most recent seasons. But then they'll have their games where like it's run a lot. And then here, you motion angled out. He's reading the defenders. They both get stuck on Waddle. Angled gets the outside leverage. He sees it. Boom. Quick release. Hit Angled on the back shoulder. Keep him away from the safety. Protected. Pick up just a nice first down. Quick, easy decision. Tua's been very good on these concepts. Reading leverage of defenders. This one was an unfortunate one. This is one where this is one of the fumbles he had that wasn't... I think it was the only fumble he had that wasn't on a snap. But Robert Jones... I think this is more on Tua. Tua has the room to step up in the pocket. Unfortunately, the guy just barely hits the ball out. And this was one of the few times, like if you watch throughout the game, the Cardinals did a very good job taking away a lot of those middle of the field, to 15, 20 yards down the field. This is the one time where he was going to have Tyreek going open. Like they had, Waddle clearing out space here. And then they get the safety, middle of the field safety open up just enough, and Tyreek would have been wide open on the deep crosser. So unfortunate that they fumbled there, but it didn't end up mattering because they end up converting this later on. They gain like 9 or so yards, 7 something yards on the screen. They get to this situation. They're bringing pressure off the Dolphins' right side here. Bring 4 from here. They pick it up really, really nicely. Tua feels the pressure, floats away from it a little bit, and then still, even on the move, this is actually insane because Tua throws with anticipation a lot, but even on the move, if you watch this, usually if you see a quarterback on the move this quickly, not even their feet set, and still throwing the ball, look, Tyreek has not broken yet. Throwing the ball with that much anticipation is actually like ridiculous. This is just something Tua does better than most QBs in the league, if not the best. There's a few things, it's anticipation, accuracy's at the top, and then we'll get to his ball handling. Like he's one of the best ball handlers in the league when it comes to like how he's like selling like either play action or on these like reverses, misdirection stuff. But that's just a high level play there from Tua. I love his anticipation level. It's really fantastic. Here you get to see some of the ball handling. Really sell like he's gonna throw the screen out to the left to Jonnu, and then do the little underhand flip to Julian Hill. Was actually a really nice. Love the design, love the call down here. I actually think McDaniel has been much better with the screens since the first couple weeks. I didn't like his screen calls, but the screen calls have become, less common. But then when he has called them, they've been very effective. And he's been doing it a lot down at the goal line, especially when they're around like the 9-10 yard line area. They've scored on some of these and they've gotten close. Like this one could have been a touchdown. Julian Hill probably either would have scored or got down to like the 1. He unfortunately fumbles. Thank God they got it back, so they got lucky in this situation. And then he just, blocked this up really nicely. Mostert gets his first of 2 touchdowns. I think the one to really point out on this play is Brewer. So, they're working. Look at him double team. Look at what Brewer does here. Look at how much he moves this guy. It just absolutely blows him up out of the play. Working with Robert Jones. Love that. Crack that down. Also, good job by everyone else just blocking this up. Their linebacker just makes a poor read, and Mostert makes a good quick cut with vision. And they just kept converting first downs, 3rd and short. So I want to point this out. When they got into like a 3rd and short, like either 3rd and 3 or less, this is the only time the Cardinals really went like heavy man-to-man and either went like 0 or cover 1. And I think the Dolphins took notice of this, and we'll talk about this later on on a Tyreek play. But on the first few times, they just took like quick, easy completions for first downs, and I love that. But I love the adjustment that you'll see later on with the clip. But identify the pressure, knows where he's hot. Like look where there's like knows his protection. This guy's going to be coming off the edge here, hot. So know where your quick option is with Jonnu. So you want to throw your hot route to where the blitz is coming from, and he does that. His release, accuracy, get the ball to Jonnu, just on the same page. Throw the ball with good timing, all of that stuff. So just lots of smart decisions. I feel like when you're talking about quarterback play in this game, Tua was doing a very good job with like the quarterback play. Like the bad plays he had weren't necessarily like quarterback plays. He's not catching a snap. That's just a bad play, not necessarily like you made a bad decision, which is I think a little bit different. Here, this is one of the didn't end up being like a crazy play, one of Jalen Wright touches. I know people want more Jalen Wright touches. I do too. I just don't think it's as like people are pointing it out as like it's like the biggest problem with the Dolphins right now. I don't think it's like HN had a huge game. Mostert wasn't perfect, but he still had 2 touchdowns. It's not. I think Wright should get more touches from Mostert, but I don't think it's like the big problem. But like, look how he sells this, man. Just a quick flip behind the back, fake handoff to Jonnu there. Like he is such a good manipulator with that type of stuff. One of the best in the business, and I think is a big part of this offense's success. I think this was the biggest drop in the game from the Dolphins. This Jonnu drop. I think Jonnu had some good plays, converting some 3rd downs, but this drop was tough. Like you run the play action boot, you get flowing to the left here. Good call because Dolphins have been running a lot of outside zone. Get these guys to commit hard downhill, and you get Jonnu exactly where you want it, and he catches it. And he had enough room to not get hit. He just doesn't hold on to it, and still, it's going to take a hit. And this is the one that mattered even more than the Jalen Waddle one, because the Waddle drop was big too, but they end up scoring and converting, so it didn't matter. This one, pretty much ended the drive, because I'll show the next play, which unfortunately didn't get completed. Now, we know Tua very accurate deep, but this is like a different one. This is when like he's very accurate when he knows he's going to throw it deep, and he can set and throw with good timing. This one, Tyreek's not his first read. There's no like alert to go to it right away. He's starting in the middle, looking for Waddle on this linebacker. But there's hope over the top. He gets slowed down. This is just all taken away. He now notices that he has Tyreek 1-on-1 deep. He's just late to get there. That's pretty much the problem. Like look how he even reset his feet. Usually he's in timing and he like is able to throw, but he's doing a little bit panicky with his footwork there, and then the ball is underthrown. So that was like one of his real misses in this game. But I think it has less to do with him missing like accuracy-wise and more just like Tua's a very good deep ball thrower when he's on time, and this just wasn't. I think timing was the issue on this play because obviously he doesn't have like the strongest arm in the world to make up for it when the timing's not there. And unfortunately, that drop really ruined that drive. But another big 3rd down conversion, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10 in your own end zone, throwing the out route at the sticks. Look at the anticipation here from Tua. He gets the 1-on-1 that he wants. He identifies that this corner's opened up his hips. He's going to get the exact look. Boom, throws it. Gets him open there. Good timing, placement, good route from Waddle as well. Waddle had that drop, but you could tell Waddle was running some nice routes in this game, like inside release, attack hard leverage, then work into the blind spot of the corner. Really good stuff there. But yeah, good read. Even had Odell open, like if he worked to this side of the field, but he didn't. Even had Jonnu open potentially for the first down. A lot of people were open on this play, but he made, I think, the right decision to where he was supposed to go with it on that play. But this is what I was talking about. So this is another 3rd and short. Dolphins were not giving the Cardinals were not giving the Dolphins a lot of opportunities to throw the ball deep. So when they're 3rd and short, they're probably gonna throw. They get man to man. They go single high. They're bringing pressure. This is one of the times they're actually gonna get this look to Tyreek. They throw it, and then when Tua is able to throw like a quick release, throw it with touch, then he's able to just drop it into the bucket of Tyreek. Just beautiful throw. Like the offense, there was just a lot of things to like with the offense in this game. Unfortunately, they couldn't play complementary football, and the defense probably had its worst performance since the Bills game in this game. And honestly, it was probably their worst performance of the season, because even though they were bad versus the Bills, the offense really put them in tough spots. I think this game, the offense did as much as they could to help the defense. It does suck that the Dolphins defense has a ton of injuries, specifically some of their best players still not playing. They couldn't get any pressure, but we'll break that down all tomorrow. I know people will have problems with this. I'm not a goal line fade guy. I hate throwing goal line fades. I don't necessarily have a big problem with this one, though, like people will. Because I know people will call for McDaniel's head after a loss, and I definitely think McDaniel deserves some criticism, and there's a lot of blame to go around. But I don't think, this is the game to do it. I actually think McDaniel's been pretty good play call-wise for a few weeks now. There's going to be some ones that are questionable here and there, but that's just how even the best player callers have that. But I think you have to understand the situation. This is 3rd down. They're out of timeouts. There's about 22 seconds left, something like that. So this ball has to be I think this is the right decision to you don't want to turn the ball over. You're trying to get points here. So you want to throw a ball that has a low chance of being picked off, and fades have a low chance of being picked off. You also want to throw it into the end zone, and you want to throw it quick. So if you take a sack, you don't have the timeouts, you would have to rush your field goal unit on the field. You might not get a field goal off. So the ball has to be quick released. Would I prefer it to be a slant? Yes. But then also, say if it's a slant and this is not actually a blitz here and they're playing man-to-man, then it's just say it could have been zone and then it could have been taken away, potentially intercepted. So they're trying to throw something here that's, low percentage of being picked off. It could have been, there was potential for PI here. I think it was pretty 50-50. They didn't call it. I get why they didn't. So I understand why they called the fade here in this situation. Hopefully it just doesn't become common stance, which it hasn't been all year. So I'm going to, give McDaniel a break. I think situationally it makes sense to throw it here. Let's just not, make that common again. Achane was explosive in this game. I know I'm mostly doing pass plays, but just good job blocking this up. Good job across the board. Brewer hooks his guy. Jones is able to capture him just enough there. Armstead does his job. People are blocking. Waddle slows him down just enough. And Achane just does the rest. Explosive, make a good read, make a guy miss in space. Was tough. I feel like people have kind of underrated how Achane's been playing. He had 1 or 2 games where I thought he could have played better, but overall he's been explosive, hitting some big plays. When Tua's back in the lineup, obviously that helps him out a lot. Also, great job from Jackson. If you watch Jackson just get down the field. Also, you can watch Brewer too, 55, hustling from behind the play to get back involved. Trying to push the bodies, get this going. But yeah, just impressive overall. Boom, play action. I know people, if you watch the film, you might think when you watch this live, even I thought this Jonnu was open. He was potentially open, but Tua would have had to throw the ball right here, boom, play action, and then throw it, and then you have to throw it back shoulder. So him and Jonnu would have been on the same page because he's floating into this defender, and then this safety breaks on it. So I actually don't mind him not throwing this to Jonnu here. It would have had to been a perfect throw, tight window, and he knows once he sees the safety hard break, he knows he has Waddle on the backside, and Tua is not feeling any pressure. So he's great job by the O-line, by the way, protecting here. So he knows he's got time to get back to this throw to Waddle here, which Waddle gets open, boom, release the inside, just super dynamic, and he's still able to throw the backside, hook route, deep hook to Waddle. He just unfortunately drops it with he even threw that with anticipation. Still impressive. I thought the O-line overall played well. Like, Tua didn't really get pressured unless they brought, like, blitzes where there was more than they could block. But overall, and then here's, like, the escape. Tua working to his right side here. Nothing really ended up getting open. They have, Odell working over the middle of the field, kind of taken away. You have Waddle would work behind it, also not really worked out. They're running quarters. Tyreek's running, like a pivot route. There's nothing end up, like if you go from 1 to 2 to 3, not open. Tua feels the pressure start to break down, then finds the room to escape, and then he ends up sliding. So I guess the positive from this game, the offense was at least exciting to watch, and that at least gives me something to watch for the rest of the year. And I know people have given up hope and want to blow it up, but I don't know if that's going to be exactly what happens. So I'm going to, stick with this team. There will still be some of the obvious players will still be around next year, so we'll be watching for that. Good play call from McDaniel again with the screen stuff. Motion HN out, and then, have him return. Good blocking just across the board. Good job from Tyreek out on the edge. Good job from Smythe. Armstead get bodies on. Brewer gets bodies on a safety. Brewer is so good out in space, man. Like, Brewer has been really good. One of the best signings they've had. Even Eichenberg making a good block, and you just get a walk-in touchdown. Dolphins have had a lot of good screens. When they get around near the 10, they've scored a lot of touchdowns on the screenplay, so that's just a good call. And then here's the snap. I just got the clip and haven't really looked at it yet. Like, I've obviously seen it live, but I haven't really studied. It's definitely, like, it's hard to say. Like, I'm trying to, like, get the perfect. It's definitely mostly on Tua, in my opinion. Like, obviously, you got to be fair. I thought Tua played a great game. I think some people out there, like the Tua haters, will blame this game on him for this play specifically. No, he clearly did enough to win even this play happening. Like, he responded with a touchdown right after this. That's why, if Tua didn't respond with a touchdown right after this and make it continue to be a 2-score game, then I would say, like, okay, yeah, this game, you could put some blame on Tua. But this game was on the defense. You had a 2-score lead in the fourth, and you basically gave up a touchdown on every single drive, or you gave up points on every single drive. It's definitely still fast and high from Brewer. It's not a perfect snap, like, right there. So it's like, it's definitely fast and high, right up shoulder. It tips off his hands right there. So you would like to see him, you're just like, I'm trying to pause it where it actually hits his hands. So I think it's literally right there where his hands are. I'm not going to get it perfectly. So it's fast and high, but you still got to catch it, or at least, slow it down, because that's a big point in the game. And that was kind of like the main problem, I think, offensively. Still some of those, but sometimes, you got a little roughed off. Seam roll slide RPO. He gets the exact look they want. There's no outside linebacker here. He reads this. This guy's hard in the box. You're getting Waddle every day of the week. Look how quick. Tua is just so good with his quick release. Him and Waddle on the same page. They get it. Get upfield. Nice to see that always connection coming back into play. Just another excellent play. Third down. Another huge third down conversion. Ball placement, anticipation. Release the ball. So boom. Steps up in the pocket. He gets one-on-one on the outside with Waddle. He starting to release it now. Waddle's starting to break now. So good timing. And then the ball placement to put this on the outside shoulder to keep it away from the corner and, allow Waddle to shift his momentum upfield to even pick up some extra yards after the catch. Just a beautiful play. Like, the third down conversions were huge. And I think that was, like, the big reason the Dolphins offense was able to find success, because that's where they really, like, and you want to see that continue. The Cardinals have a bad third down defense. So this is just a one-game sample size. That's something that needs to continue, I think. This was a huge conversion, too. Like, crazy play from, Tua starts to feel some pressure, step up in the pocket. Looks like he wants to work. He's kind of trying to identify the coverage here. The safety sits down. Looks like they're going to, like, a 3 buzz. Doesn't end up, kind of wants to go over towards the middle. Seeing if Tyreek can get open on the backside. Sees Waddle, but too late. Then resets his feet. Sees John open over the middle, and then just has enough velocity to get it there and accuracy to get that first down. There's, like, excellent play from Tua. Got a little, I think, jumpy in the pocket, but really good job resetting his feet and finding Jonnu over the middle of the field. Unfortunately, like, people, now this is the drive we want to get to. So the first play I'm not going to show. It's just it was a basic toss. They ran the ball, and I don't mind that. Obviously, like, people will blame, like, just because the play went for 0 yards, people will call it a bad play call. Not necessarily. Like, They were running the ball pretty well throughout the game. Then they went to seam rail slide RPO. This one was unfortunate because it looks like Tua could have an opportunity to throw this to Waddle, but this guy gets on him fast. So you have to see, Tua's looking for Waddle right here, but I think he sees Baker out of his peripheral come downhill. So I think he thinks Baker might go to the Waddle zone, but unfortunately Baker goes down to 80, gets downhill, and is just coming after the quarterback. And then 7 goes to Julian Hill. But this guy gets on Tua so fast, he would have had to make this decision to throw it to Waddle like right now. And I guess he was expecting Baker to get in that zone. Unfortunately, it was the one time he wasn't able to get it to his best option in Waddle, so he has to unfortunately throw it down to Julian Hill, and it only picks up a yard. So that was like just a missed opportunity, being put in a tough spot because the guys were on him fast. I would have liked to see Tua get a chance to play like a true drop back game on the final 3 downs, which he didn't get to do because the first play was a run. Next play was an RPO, so he didn't really get to drop back and actually read the defense. And then the third play here was a screen, which I actually think was the right call, but I would have liked to see one of these plays because they had the right call for this. The screen to the blitz. They get the blitz off the left side, so the ball has to come out quickly. There's nowhere to throw it down the field, obviously. They're on him quick. I think if Achane is able to get to, like, it's unfortunate that this, like, if Achane was on the left side here, he's unfortunately on the right side, he would have been able to get to his spot a little bit faster. If he was able to just get there a little bit faster, get his head turned around a little bit quicker, and then Tua maybe throws it to a better spot, even with Achane not looking. Like, I understand Achane wasn't looking, so he kind of throws it away. But man, if it was able to, I mean, this guy maybe could have made an impact on the play, 52, but is able to get floated over the top and maybe catch Achane in stride. Like, look how much room was had up here. All they had to do was block this guy, basically. So Achane, if he was able to cut this up the middle, he would have probably picked up the first down because you had a lot of people out in space on him. And the lead guy was, I believe it was Brewer, right? Yeah, the lead guy was Brewer, who's your best guy in space. And you also had Robert Jones out there. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get executed. But I would have liked to see, a true drop back game at some point. Because Tua really, the only time he got to really a chance on this drive to play true drop back, he had that conversion to Jonnu Smith. So that was kind of my only complaint, is like Tua didn't really get a chance to win, the game with like real football play. It was a run and then RPO, and then he had to throw a screen where they were blitzing. So that was unfortunate. But like overall, he looked sharp. He looked good. Couple mistakes, but he was not the reason you lost the game. He was actually the reason you were winning the game for the most part, with how efficient that third down game was being. If the defense was able to play at least decent at all, they would have won this game pretty easily, because I still think they looked like the better team throughout the game. You got to give the Cardinals offense credit, but just unfortunate. And it looks like the rest of the season, you're not in a good spot. We'll see how it plays out. I will still be here breaking down film, still be watching the game, trying to enjoy it more, and maybe make it, piss me off or get mad about it or get sad about it less often, because, the expectations have dropped. Obviously, I don't have high expectations next week. Playing the Bills in Buffalo, definitely don't have high expectations. So watch them, be that the game that they end up winning. If they win, I actually would be kind of mad if that's the Buffalo game they win, because it won't matter. Man, that would suck. But it would also be kind of funny. But overall, I just like seeing Tua play good football. I like having quarterbacks that can at least play competent football. Even if mistakes happen, they can make up for it. Like, say if there's a penalty or a drop or a sack, you can still somehow get points out of the drives. Like, Dolphins got that strip sack, they still finished the drive with a touchdown. They had another drive where they had a penalty, a holding call, they still finished that drive with like a field goal. This one, they have a drop to Waddle, they still finished this drive with a touchdown. Like, so even like if there's mistakes happening, whether it's Tua or someone else, just having him back there still allows you to, make up for those mistakes. It just, like I've said, the margin for error, a lot bigger now. So, I know it's disappointing. I'm sure a lot of people have just given up and won't even watch the videos anymore. Don't necessarily blame you, but if you're going to stick around, I'll still be posting. Just, let me know what you guys want to see. I'm going to still do the offense, defense, probably a couple players every week, and then maybe do a preview of the next game. And then I'll probably get into, if the Dolphins get eliminated early, then I'll get into draft stuff. So just leave some comments down below what you guys want to see.